Hey there, calendar users. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, we're going to be going over how to use the round robin scheduling event. Round robin is one of calendar's most popular scheduling events because it allows multiple people to be attached to one scheduling event, and it will cycle through who gets those calls. So great for sales, great for customer service. This link scheduling event that we have right here is actually embedded on our website whenever you click contact sales on calendar.com. So this particular one, there are three of us that take these demos. And when somebody books on the link, it's going to show times where at least one of us is free to take that. Then it's going to evenly distribute those calls or meetings amongst the three of us, right? So it's very useful for when you have a situation where it doesn't matter who takes the call or who takes the meeting, but somebody does, right? So that's why customer service, sales, things like that are very popular for this one. So let's dive into how to create it and how to use it. So let's go into create scheduling event here. We're going to select round robin. Again, we kind of just went over what it was, but this allows scheduled invitee meetings are cycled between multiple hosts, between multiple members of the workspace, right? So let's dive in and create it and see how it goes. So like all the other scheduling events, we're going to name it. So let's say that this is a chat with any member of calendar.com, right? Feel free to book a time that works best for you to meet with a member of the calendar team. Again, there's going to be multiple people attached to this link, but only one of them is going to get the meeting, right? Just depending on which time the person booking chooses. So get you a color in there, go to continue. Availability. Now, this is where it differs from the other scheduled events like one-on-one and multiple host a little bit, right? Because we're going to set a very broad availability here because it needs to encompass everyone in the round robin links working hours, right? So you might want to set this one a little bit broader, and then it's also going to look at each individual person's working hours, which we will set here in a little bit. But if nobody sets any working hours and they still are in the round robin scheduling event, then it's just going to default to use this as their working hours. So you just might want this one to be a little bit broader because everybody's working hours has to also fit inside of this blue zone here. So maybe, depending on time zones and all that good stuff, maybe we want to extend it a little bit. If everyone's in the same time zone and everyone has the same working hours, then you're set, right? You can just leave it as is, and nobody even has to set their own working hours. But let's say somebody wants to has separate working hours than everybody else, and they only want to take calls on Friday. They will set that in their personal working hours and their user settings, which again we'll go over, and the link will look at those working hours as opposed to this one, as long as it's within the time frame that we set here. So. Just like all the other scheduling events, you can pick the duration, give multiple options if you want, or one option. You can have the date range set for infinitely, meaning it will always work. There's not a range or there's not a limit on when they can book or how far out. Date range is, this link will only be live for a certain amount of days. Like if I want to set it for 4 days here, and then rolling days, it's going to roll after these 5 days, right? Then it'll keep rolling over. These rules are all the same as the other scheduled scheduling event types. Buffer time, your time in between meetings, your start time increments, when the meetings are allowed to start. I always have mine set for 30 minutes. That way when somebody books with me, it's always at 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30. If you have it set for 15, then someone in theory could book from like 2:15 to 2:45, 2:45 to 3:15. So just kind of personal preference on when you want your meetings to start. But these rules are the same for everybody. So you want to kind of make sure everyone's on the same page with these rules for everyone attached to the round robin scheduling event. Schedule notice, how much time in advance everyone will want before the meeting. Again, these are just one-on-one meetings once they're scheduled, and these rules will work for everybody, but just how much time in advance is each person going to want before that meeting actually occurs, right? Because if you have it set to 0, and somebody could find that link and be like, oh, good, somebody's free in 5 minutes and they can book. You might want, at least a little bit of a buffer of a notice there, don't have time to prepare for the call, whatever, right? So we have some default options here for you to choose from. You can also just put a custom one if those do not work. You can set the maximum events per day. And again, this is total, not per person. So the number of these events each day total. Guest invite limit, you can limit how many people the person booking can invite to the meeting. Disable conflict booking or disable conflict checking. This is a pretty unique use case where if you wanted to, you could disable it looking at everyone's connected calendars, because all the members of the link of the round robin scheduling event link are going to connect all their calendars, right? So that the system knows when they're busy and free, but you can disable that if you want to and allow for double bookings. Again, most people obviously want those calendars to be checked so that people aren't double booked and all that good stuff, but you do have that option. Go to continue. This is where you're going to start putting members in there, right? So let's say I want Steve in here, click Steve. I want John in here, I could click John, or I could put an entire team in here. So like we have a sales team. So if I click teams, boom, then it auto-populates all three of us. You're gonna put the location where you want the meeting to be, in person, phone call, any type of web conference. We have integrations with Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, or you can have a custom one that everybody could use as well. So let's say Zoom. So boom, we know it's going to be a Zoom meeting, and it's going to be at each person's Zoom meeting. So when the call is with me, it's going to be at my Zoom. When it's with Rampton here, it's going to go to his Zoom. When it's at Steve, it's going to go to his Zoom. Advanced options, you can have a guest that's always invited. It's not going to look at their availability, but they will always be notified and always be invited to any meeting scheduled through this. Block scheduler, you can block certain emails from booking with you. Okay, last steps are going to be setting up email reminders and text reminders for everybody, custom questions as well. These are like the questions that people will fill out on the last form when booking. So let's say we wanted to ask everybody's company name. You can click whether it's required or not, and you can pick how they answer the question. You could have multiple choice if you want to like give them options. For a question like this, you'll probably just do one or multiple lines depending on how many lines they're going to need to answer. Probably for company name, we can just stick with one line. And then we can put phone number in there as well, let's say. Phone number. But we won't require that one. But then answer type for this one, we would probably click phone number so that it will give them, that type of answer here. Like you can see where it's going to give them the area code and all that good stuff. And then whenever I show you guys what this scheduling event looks like, you'll see where these custom questions come into play. Payments, you can use a Stripe integration to allow people to book to meet with your team or a member of your team. Confirmation page or a link redirect. You can redirect people after they book to another page. Private scheduling event, you can kind of make this link more private so that it doesn't automatically show on your scheduling page, and you kind of have a little bit more control over who gets to book on it. That way, if people have access to your scheduling page, it doesn't necessarily mean they have access to this particular scheduling event. So just another layer of security and privacy there. So let's go ahead and create it. We got that one done. And then here it is, chat with any member of calendar.com. Now we'll click on it to see what it looks like for somebody who booked. You can see where it's in the Zoom meeting that we selected, and again, it will go to whoever Zoom gets the meeting. So it's not this, we're not sharing a Zoom room, so it's just going to go to the Zoom that each person has connected. So in theory, at 3 o'clock, if we're all three, we all three could be booked at 3 o'clock with different people, right, in our own Zoom rooms and all that good stuff. Here's the 2 duration options we gave them. Let's say 30 minutes. Let's say they wanted to meet tomorrow. Again, these are times where one of the 3 of us is free. So there should be a good amount of availability, right? The only reason a time wouldn't show is if all 3 of us were busy at that time. So let's say they booked at 12:30, confirm. Here are those custom questions we added, like company name and phone number. So they would fill all this out and then book. It would randomly select the person who was free at that time and evenly pick the people It'll go on everybody's calendars, confirmation email, and then the text reminders and the email reminders will start going out, whoever you have those set. The last thing I want to show you guys is the user settings and the working hours that we were talking about earlier. So if you have different hours than what that first availability we put in, this is where you would put that. You can see where mine is 9 to 5, which is the same as what we normally use. But if I wanted to, I could limit how available I am for those types of meetings, right? So even though the first availability had Monday through Friday, for me, it's going to look at my availability now and only select, I'm only available on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Round Robin is the only one that kind of differentiates from the regular availability because it gives you that added ability to put your own working hours in aside from just the overall general availability that you first put in. So there we have it. That is how you create the Round Robin scheduling event and how to use it. Thanks for stopping by.